The first day at the Galactic Xenobiology Academy was supposed to be a formal orientation, but rumors had already turned it into something else entirely. "They're bringing a Vraskian hatchling," someone whispered as the students filed into the amphitheater. "To test our threat response." A collective shiver passed through the room. Vraskians were apex predators, six-limbed, fanged, armored. Even their babies were dangerous. One swipe could tear through reinforced alloy. Everyone found a seat as far from the center as possible. Everyone except the human. Ethan Reed sat casually in the front row, legs stretched out, doodling on his datapad. He looked like he'd accidentally walked into the wrong classroom and didn't realize a creature capable of turning him into confetti was on its way. The instructor, Professor Ylvar, entered with a nervous twitch in her mandibles. "Today," she announced, "you will learn to maintain composure in the presence of a hostile species." 2 security drones floated in, scanning the air. Then the doors boomed open. A Vraskian hatchling trotted inside, small for its species, but still the size of a large wolf. White-hot eyes glowed beneath bone ridges, its tail spiked and swaying. It growled, a low vibration that rattled the light fixtures. Half the class recoiled. A few fainted. Ethan looked up from his doodle. "Ah," he said cheerfully. "It's tiny." The hatchling froze. Dozens of students held their breath. Then it walked straight toward Ethan. Professor Ylvar chittered in horror. "Mr. Reed, remain absolutely still. Vraskians react to motion." "It's fine," Ethan said, scooting his backpack off the seat beside him. "Hey little dude, you lost." The hatchling sniffed him once. Then it purred. A deep, resonant, bone-vibrating purr. Ethan blinked. "You're like a giant space kitten, huh?" The class collectively panicked. The professor nearly swallowed her own antennae. Vraskians didn't purr. Vraskians didn't like anyone. Vraskians especially didn't bond with non-Vraskians. This is impossible," Ylvar whispered. "Vraskian hatchlings are programmed for intimidation. They should not, cannot, behave like that." Ethan shrugged. "Maybe it's shy." The hatchling slid onto the floor, pressing its massive head against his boots like a cat demanding attention. Its tail thumped against the tiles hard enough to crack one. Ethan scratched the tough scales behind its ear. The purr got louder. The professor was shaking. "Mr. Reed, could you cease touching the apex predator?" "But he likes it." That is precisely the problem. The rest of the class stayed at least 10 feet away while the hatchling sat loyally beside Ethan like a devoted guard dog. Whenever someone approached too quickly, it snarled, but only until Ethan murmured, "Hey, be nice," and tapped its snout. Then it behaved. Word spread across the academy in minutes. By the next day, half the school had gathered outside the dorms hoping to see the human who had befriended death incarnate. Instead, they saw something more shocking. The Vraskian hatchling waiting outside Ethan's door, wagging its tail. Ethan stepped out, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "Oh. You again." The creature chirped. He sat down beside it. "You hungry, buddy?" The hatchling shoved its entire head onto his lap. Ethan laughed. The crowd gasped. Later that week, the academy hosted an emergency meeting with the Vraskian delegation. They arrived armored, sharp, towering, each one radiating lethal dominance. They expected to pick up a bloodthirsty hatchling. Instead, they found it sprawled on the floor of a lecture hall while Ethan braided colorful ribbon around its tail spikes. "What," growled the Vraskian matriarch, "is the meaning of this?" Ethan looked up. "Oh hey. You must be the parents." Gasps filled the room. Several students instinctively ducked. Vraskians did not tolerate casual tone. Yet the matriarch only stared. Hard. "How did you," she said slowly, "tame our young?" "Tame?" Ethan looked confused. I just treated it like a baby. Gave it space. Let it come to me. It's not scary, it's just misunderstood. The matriarch blinked her 4 eyes. Then something happened no one had ever seen. She lowered her head. A bow. To understand a young predator, she said, voice echoing with respect, requires fearlessness. Or foolishness. Perhaps both. Humans are unlike any prey species we have encountered. We're not prey, Ethan replied with a smile. We're just friendly. The hatchling nudged Ethan's shoulder and purred. The matriarch hissed in astonishment, but it wasn't aggression. It was surprise, and recognition. You, she said softly, have been chosen. Ethan tilted his head. Chosen for what? For friendship, she said. A bond even we cannot command. After that day, no one brought a predator to intimidate a class ever again. They learned something far more terrifying. If you wanted to scare a human, you simply couldn't. Because even the predators wanted to sit next to them and purr.